What's going on, everyone? Kelly Cavalier here, one half of 7 Arrow Media, and welcome to today's episode of the Honky Tonk Highway. Episode number 38, almost to 40, guys. Thank you, everyone who's tuned into them so far and is enjoying these interviews / roundtables that I've now been doing. If you haven't yet, follow, subscribe, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. That way you don't miss anything that we do. We are currently live on both Facebook and YouTube, so shout out to everybody no matter where you're watching. There you go. Huge shout out today to everyone who came and joined my class this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. It was 7 o'clock in Cali, 3 o'clock in the UK, 4 o'clock in France, and I think it was 10 and 11 o'clock in Malaysia and Japan, where some of them all joined us from. For joining me on Streamline when I did my Teach of I'm Sorry, my nightclub that I originally competed back at Las Vegas Dance Explosion, but most recently at Big Bang. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. Today's guest, man that really needs no introduction if you're from the UCWDC or from out west. This guy I've known since he was, I was going to say shorter lad, but I can only really say younger lad because he really didn't get taller. His hair just changed colors and he still stayed the same. He's an event director for South Bay Dance Fling. He is a judge for the UCWDC and a masters dancer as well as a line dancer there. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada, Mr. Tim Perez. What's going on, Timmy?
Hello. Hey. How's it going?
Doing good. Thank you for joining me again.
And you're right. I didn't get taller. If you watch the video that I posted of me from when I was 14 or whatever, the shirt still fit.
So right. I saw that. You rocked the white pants, the hat, and you still were wearing the same thing from your teenage years.
Oh my God, it was amazing. Amazing.
No, it's not amazing. Not fair.
And the same boots.
Not even right. Not even right. They probably don't even make those boots anymore, do they?
No, those are original Evening Stars. The welt, everything. Oh yeah.
I had a pair, and they were just with the welt and the shank. I'm like, nope. How did anybody ever dance in these? It hurt.
I tried to point my toe, and I was like, that's right.
Nope.
Can't do a point in these things.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. So some people out there got to tune in, and they tuned in Friday when I had you on with Trevor and JP for the roundtable discussion. For those who don't know you, why don't you give us a little backstory?
Oh my goodness. Okay, great. So let's go back to the beginning. I started dancing back in 1991-92. 1992 was my very, very first UCWDC dance event. It was the Las Vegas dance finale. It was at the Dunes Hotel in 1992. I actually started dancing before that. And what got me into dancing was I had some cousins of mine that got married. It was the early 90s, and they decided that they wanted the wedding party to do Texas two-step and do some line dancing. And so my parents and I started learning, going to a local bar, and we started learning how to two-step and achy breaky heart and boot scoot boogie and watermelon crawl and all those fun dances from back then. And after we came back, the wedding ended. After we came back, I kept going, and I went to my first dance event with my first dance partner in 92, and we took third place overall, which was awesome, out of 3 couples, which was a great, right? And it kind of went from there. I stayed in the UC for years. I competed in juniors for a number of years. I eventually went to adults and competed Division II, Division I, eventually became a master, competed in line dance for a number of years, became a certified judge in the UCWDC. Bought an event or joined an event a couple years ago, and then actually bought an event last year, which was South Bay Dance Fling. As a director, became part of the UCWDC as their executive committee a couple years ago, became the treasurer of the UCWDC, and it's kind of where I'm at now.
Awesome.
That was a quick run through.
Now, were you ever the tallest male competitor at any of your divisions?
Yes. Yes, I was. When I competed against Miles Monroe.
Does that really count?
Well, I mean,
his little step in the country. His little step in the country made you the taller one.
Yeah, that was a junior, so you know.
Exactly. So what's it been like for you? Because I know before you were busy as can be. I got to see you right before we kind of went on lockdown at Fort Wayne. You were there to teach at Jamie Marshall's event in Indiana, And normally
Yes.
you're on the road constantly. Normally you're nonstop go go go. You're like me. So what's it been like, especially being in Vegas and nothing going on? That's gotta.
Oh my gosh, it's been horrible. There's nothing to do here. All the casinos, when everything happened, all the casinos shut down. So I'm not teaching. I'm not really doing a whole lot. There's no place to go. You can't go to a movie. Like everywhere else right now. And to not be on the road and not dance, it's been tough. It's been rough. And not seeing a lot of friends. Thankfully, because of video chats and stuff like this, and things I can kind of catch up with friends from around the world and have a conversation for a
Right.
bit, and we can talk about whatever, because we're not hanging out at a dance event, which is tough. So
So what's so far as the plan? Because you know the answer to this on how the UCWDC is gonna fare for the rest of the year with Worlds. I know West Coast Swimming World already canceled their kind of World Championships with the U.S. Open. Um, WDM canceled Masters, but that was also
yes,
in August at least. So y'all are usually supposed to be in January that first week. How is that going to play out?
as of right now, everything is 100% a go.
Awesome.
Everything is set to go. If you kind of follow everything that's going on in Texas, Texas is opening up quite a bit. So
All right.
right now, there's really no plans to cancel Worlds. We're trying to make sure. I try to make sure I encourage people, saying, "Hey, register, go to World." We're not sure of events. Each event is a little bit different.
Right.
With each city and state and where everything is at. But as far as Worlds, right now, it's golden. It's golden.
What's looking like is possibly going to be the next event for the qualifiers.
The first one on the calendar that I believe, because I think everything, I just got like I talked to Melissa and I saw that Indie Dance
And I
6
saw
ended up canceling that.
Tony Lee and them announce Big Apple.
Right, Tony Lee with Big Apple. And so I think the next one on the calendar is in August, which is Arizona Dance Classic,
Right.
which is the one I was the co-event director for about 3-4 years. And so I think that's that right now. That's set to go. That's
Nice.
set to go. So we'll see what happens.
Nice.
But with everything going on right now, who knows? Who
Right.
knows?
Right. That there's no telling. That's that like we were just talking yesterday about when the next line dance event possible, and who knows? Right now we're all hoping and praying for one to happen soon. At least I know
Yes.
I am, and I'm sure
Yes.
Kelly's ready for me to get out of the house.
Well, I'm sure, and that's just it. Steven's ready for me to kind of go. He's like, "Don't you have a dance event or somewhere to go? Like, don't you have to teach somewhere?" Yeah.
So I have to ask because you can see half of the Disney stuff and the Mickey Mouse is behind you. What is actually in more of in your house? Mickey Mouse and Disney or Coca-Cola products?
Oh my gosh.
For
I
those who
think
don't know,
it's
Steven is obsessed with Coca-Cola.
I think it's about equal. I
Oh
really
man.
do. And there's a lot of crossover stuff, and I don't think I have it out. But we've got some things that, like, I've got a bottle that's a Coca-Cola bottle that's got Mickey
Mickey
Mouse
on
on
it.
it. Other stuff. So there's some crossover that are Coke and are Disney, and this is only some of it. I mean, we have a whole loft that we used to have our whole upstairs loft that was nothing but Coca-Cola, and
Oh yeah,
we
he's. I've seen pictures. Yeah, I
yeah.
can. I know.
We've done some remodels, and this is even I packed up some of the Disney stuff, and this is only a small bit of it. I've got another stuff in upstairs in a room, and some kitchen stuff, and yeah, it's
Crazy,
crazy.
crazy,
Yes,
crazy.
I mean, I'm representing. I got my Mickey Mouse shirt on. It's Pride Month, so it's the
Yep.
rainbow Mickey. It's perfect.
Steven just says Coke wins.
Go with
Steven
yeah.
Steven rules. I have more Coke than Disney. There's the answer.
There you go. That's the
So, last couple of years, at least I know I got to start seeing you again because you've been coming to more social line dance events. You come Fort Wayne. You've been at the Las Vegas Dance Explosion.
yes.
What's it like getting to experience the more laid back, non-competition side?
Oh my gosh, it's been so much fun. So much fun. Like, I was so glad that I got a chance. Thank you to Jamie for inviting me out to Fort Wayne this year, because I got to go to another dance event before everything closed down.
Right.
But it was so much fun. I mean, the show was great. So it was great to be a part of the staff. I had amazing things about the show, and it was wonderful to be in there and dance in the show. But just the number of people and the size of the classes and oh my gosh, it was a blast. And that's the thing I've loved about a lot of the dance events, even Vegas Dance Explosion. It's a lot of work. It's 5-6 days or whatever the week long that it is, and realize you get very little sleep because you're teaching and you're practicing and you're teaching and you're practicing and you're dancing, and like me, I enjoy a lot of the dances, so I'm taking classes and trying to take classes, and you just learn so much. But it's been a lot of fun. It's kind of fun to just go and have fun, and I mean I love dancing, so and that's the thing about it is I get a chance to just have fun and dance.
Yeah, no, I think I got to talk to you and Steven more in Vegas than I had in all 3 years combined that I've seen you at Indy.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. Like even at Indy and a couple of the other events I've seen you at, I'm just like,
We
hey, how's it
go.
going, guys? All right, bye.
I know, and you're usually at the table right in front of my booth judging, and I'm up top video, but even though we got the heats going on and I'm running cameras and we still don't see each other.
No, you see the back of my head, right? Oh, there's Tim.
Yep, and I can always tell because you have the colorful hair.
Yeah, which it's not right now. I apologize. It's not colored. Uh,
Slacker, slacker, slacker. Tell Steven to get off his butt. He can color it.
no, that's okay.
So what is it like? So obviously you've been around in the UCWDC for years, since back in the
Yes,
heyday.
yes.
What's it been like to watch the evolution from the way the dance events used to be back then to the way they are now?
It's definitely changed. If I think back to when I first started dancing back in, like I said, 1992, 93, 94, that was at the beginning of the UCWDC. That was at the beginning of after it was formed, and it was a different type of family environment. It's still a huge family. I think we're definitely a big family. Everybody supports and they cheer everybody on. But back then it was a different type of competition, and it was a different party. Now I see people come in, they're there to compete, they're practicing, they're sitting in the rooms and they're waiting for it, and they'll come out, they compete, and they're doing a lot of that. You'll see people come in, compete, and then leave. Where before you'd come in to compete, but you also came in to socialize. You
Mm-hmm.
came in to party. You came in to, I mean, I remember going to one of my favorite events, not because I own it now, but South Bay. Um, but they used to have one of the funnest nights, Sunday nights. All the competition was all done and over. Monday, nobody had to go to work because it was Labor Day, and they would have Pajama Jack and Jill, and it
That
was great.
music, National Dance Classic, which would used to be Music City. Kevin Johnson. That's what I loved about it. Sunday night was the pajama party. Mark and
Yeah,
Tiffany Maxwell had games. We did musical chairs. We did all sorts of relay races. But that was Sunday night, and you would probably still have 100 to 150 people
tons of
stay
people.
on Sunday night. Granted, Monday was the holiday, so it worked out great. But the after party stuff was just as busy and going as the stuff that wasn't the
Oh yeah.
competition.
And it was great because and you would still have contests. They used to do a Pajama Jack and Jill, Team Jack and Jill.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get four couples, 8 people in a team. And this was so much fun. And one person, you'd get a couple together and say, okay, you guys are going to dance, you guys dance, and say, you're going to do West Coast swing, you're going to do waltz, you're going to do two-step, you're going to do cha-cha. And it was still a Jack and Jill, and the team competed, and it was just a blast. I mean, you were
Right.
just there to have fun,
Mm-hmm.
and not that it's not a bad thing to kind of evolve in competition. I think it's a great thing because look what it's done to our level of dance.
Yeah.
Our level of dance. I made the comment earlier about the video that I wore with my costume, and those of you, if you I didn't go back and see it, go to my Facebook page. It's on there. Scroll down, but it was the what we did back in 1995 and 96 and when I came back and started recompeting and Div 1 and in Masters, it's completely different.
Just the
You
way
know,
people
this
dress was completely different.
Oh yeah, the
Like
way you dressed was different, and yeah.
like the only person I know that could really rock the fringe was my favorite two step still of all time is Cody Moline. The
Oh
Drink,
yeah.
Swear, Steal, and Lie. That
Awesome.
man could
Awesome.
walk out in the fringe, jumping up and down, flexing his muscles, and he still looked manly doing it. That's about the only person I know of, man-wise, that pulled that off. The Fringe,
Hey,
I was glad
hey,
to see that go.
I think I did it pretty good. I don't know what you're talking about. Mine was beaded fringe. Cody's was just regular fringe. So
Okay,
you
but
know, there's
then
a
okay, so imagine the girls who wore the beaded Fringe. You know how bad that hurts.
yes, I got hit with it quite a bit, so I
Oh
know.
yeah, I can imagine. No. That's like weapons. Unless you're going to lead them into a side break into your competitors.
Right?
Spin
Well,
here. Whack.
yeah. The costumes were definitely different. They definitely had the element of a much more of a country look than they do now. I will say that.
Yes, I do
Uh,
say that the dresses have gone more ballroomy than country.
they were just as expensive, and I think back then there was a lot of people. I mean, they were. I mean, thankfully, my dance partner when I was a kid was a seamstress,
Huh.
so she could bust out a new dress for my partner, a new shirt for me, and all right, you're good to go. We've got a new costume for Worlds. We got a new costume for this event because she was sewing them herself. If you look at the inside, they were never finished though. Like it was just she sewed it. It's good. All right, no
Boom,
one's
put
going
it
to see
on.
the yeah, no one's going to see the inside. No one's wearing it, just you.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. But it was great.
Matty B. And I can already tell you what his answer is going to be. Do you wish we'd bring back those country costume elements? No. No.
You know, some of them I do, and some of it I don't. And I do with some of them. I think the hard part that I hear a lot of times is people will walk into a dance event, and the only thing that lets them know that it's a country event is the
Cowboy
hat
hat.
and boots.
Cowboy hat.
And even still, you know, it's I think there's some elements would definitely be nice to kind of bring back a little bit more that way. Not the fringe. No, let's not bring back the beaded fringe, you know, but certain elements that had a look to it. And I think certain people are doing it. Certain people, I see them and I go, that's got a nice country look to it.
Well, I still believe I did this back when I came back and competed. Was I wore jeans for two step, jeans and plaid,
Oh,
jeans
yeah.
and plaid for two. That you kind of at least look the part. If you go out
Yes.
there in dress pants and this professional shirt and tie, okay, yeah, you're still dancing to country music because you're wearing a cowboy hat on, but you really don't look like if someone watched a video, unless they could hear the music, they wouldn't know what you're doing.
Right. That's the one thing I wish that we would kind of almost circle back a little bit to. But you know, the evolution of the dance has changed that, so
Some
we
of
kind of have to go with the flow.
some of the line dance costumes that I've seen lately, they've done a really good job of looking at least looking the part for some of the music, which is hard now with the evolution even of in the competition line dance of all the song changes and adding the different rhythms. Um, there's not as many country songs
Right.
anymore in the UCWDC, so I know that's hard to do. Try to look country.
Well, you know, somebody asked me one time, and they said, "Well, why do you think that it's changed so much?" And somebody said, "How can we use sometimes some older songs in country?" And I go, "Find me a really good song that's current now." You know, and that's the problem is a lot of music now. Country music drives country dancing,
Right.
and the problem is that some of our music is, you know, we were having this discussion on Friday, right, about the
Yep.
clubs and the nightclubs. You know, even in the nightclubs, you know, some of that stuff is not good two steps. Some of it is
No, it's
not
not.
good West Coast swings or cha-chas, and it's just blah. You
I
know.
would say I have noticed the West Coast swing one is probably the easiest of them all. That
Mm-hmm.
and the waltz. The problem is with the waltzes that have been coming out music wise, they're a lot faster.
Yes.
They're it's not like back in the early '90s where it was Kenny Rogers and all of them had those nice hard hitting waltzes. They're more
Right.
almost like
Right.
Viennese, speed wise. That's coming out lately, and same thing with the night with the West Coast swings. They're good, but they're not as fast. They're slower. So it's almost like it did a flip flop. The waltzes got
Yeah.
faster, and the West Coast swings got slower.
Right.
So I know. I think it was a couple years ago. Um, they used some Zach Brown band stuff for the showcase, which
Yes.
it's newer. It's still not the best I think
I
your
don't know if
dog
you
wants
see
to have
the
the interview.
dogs that are playing back here.
Yeah, I think your dog wants to join the interview, Tim.
They're running around, and so I'm like, all right, cool.
So, but yeah, no, the music I can understand why, and sometimes you just want that signature song.
Yes.
I can totally understand why some of the dances that are picked, especially for the couples, because it has with the stay in the phrasing. Sometimes trying to find it. That's another thing lately. The music, everything has a restart.
Yes, everything's
Everything
got
has
to
a restart
restart.
or a tag break, and trying to get a couple to choreograph to that on the fly. Nope, it ain't happening.
Well, that's why that's why a lot of the line dances, even social line dances, end up having a lot of tags and a lot of restarts and a lot of different phrasings. Like
Yes,
you get a lot of phrase dances because it's like we can't do a straight 32 or 64 or whatever count. You just can't do it.
right.
It's possible.
We talked about that in the one I had with Darren Bailey, Fred Whitehouse, and JP. That back in the day there was a lot more dances that we do to multiple songs. You'd go out
Yes.
you'd go out and hear the same. You could do the same dance 3 or 4 times a night. Not anymore because half the music that's playing is there's tags and restarts, so that dance wouldn't
Right.
fit.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so what? I know you getting big into the. You Clive is the head of the line dance committee in the UCWDC, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um, any plans on trying to grow that, make that bigger, try to get more people involved? Because I remember back in the day, oh, it would take us days to get. It was totally opposite. Now it's days to get through pro am. It'd be days to get through line dance competition.
Yes, it's definitely coming around, right? It's definitely we've seen the numbers increase, and the sad part with this whole thing that kind of happened this year, I think that I think there was a number of people that were gun ho about getting and trying line and doing
Right.
line, and I talked to a lot more people that were like, "Oh, I'm going to dance line this year," and I'm like, "Oh, awesome, that's great." And then hopefully they continue to still go and try it, at Worlds. There definitely always is. We always are trying to figure out how can we grow any of the dancers. What do we need to do? And there's a lot of different things that can be done. You and I have had some different conversations about it. We've sat around at events, or at dinners and stuff afterwards, and we've discussed that. There's a lot of different things. I wish I could tell you more of what's going on, and unfortunately, I can only share so much and
Totally
just say
understand,
that
brother.
we always are talking and we're always looking at different stuff, and you know, you never know what the future has.
That is so true this year, though, too, on top of all of that. That is so true.
Oh yeah, yeah. My favorite song to Two Step Two is Brad Paisley's "Mud on the Tires." I was reading the comments.
Uh,
That's a good song. I like that Two Step.
that is a good one. That is a good one, at least. And it's a newer song, thankfully.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, that way you don't have to hear Redneck Woman 475 times over a weekend.
Oh my goodness. Yes,
So do you miss competing?
yes and no. Yes and no. There are times that I sit there and I judge, and I can tell you the first time I judged Masters, I was at an event and I had the opportunity to judge Masters. The first time I sat there on the other side of it was rough because I was like, wow, I wish I was back on there dancing, because everybody's there. You compete against people. They're your friends. I known all of those people for a very long time. And, there's always that competitive part. Like you want to see what you can do. You want to see how you fare. You just want to be back on the floor. So yeah, I do miss competing. It's sometimes the work, the training, the amount of time it becomes everything, especially at that level. I saw Satu is on here. Satu, will agree with me on that. Like, it's a lot of work. I mean, there's constantly training and training and training and coaching and
Right.
privates and whomever it is just to try to be able to stay competitive and stay current. Um, but at, but at the same time, I don't miss it. I don't miss it because I've been doing this for a very long time. I was in, like I said, 1992 was my very first event. I've got almost 30 years in the UCWDC of competition, starting in juniors and working my way all the way up. That now it's kind of good to be on the other side. It's kind of fun to be an event director now. It's fun to be a judge, and it's fun to be a coach, and to see everybody else making a statement and growing and growing and growing the dance. It's just amazing. It's amazing to see that at Worlds was phenomenal. To watch Div 1, oh my gosh, I think there was 13. No, there was two heats of 10 almost, or 8, or I don't remember. There was almost 20 couples, I think, in Div 1 this year at Worlds. Like, it was massive. It was huge.
I remember watching the
And
last couple Masters comp and the fact that there's actually been prelims for Classic. I'm like, that's been nice to watch. The fact that the Masters has grown that big again and they actually had to do prelims to get Masters Classic to a final. I'm like, whoo.
yeah, I mean, that was rough. I mean, was dancing Masters. I think one of the final years that I danced in Masters at Albuquerque, there was 10 couples at a regional event
Oof.
at the Dance Fiesta, and all 10 of us on a floor at once. Like,
Ouch.
you talk about a packed floor. Like, that was rough. That was really rough. There was a lot of ducking and dodging and whatever. But like I said, no, it's good to be on the other side. It's fun to see it kind of word, and kind of be one of the judges that is going to look at this and judge it fairly, and really kind of go, may the best dancer win, right?
Right.
Go for it. So it's good to be on the other side. I think it is. But you never know. I may, get the sudden urge and the right partner, or I don't know, and who knows? Who knows?
You telling me that like the next time your sister convinces you to compete again?
Well, I've even thought about going back in the line.
There you
I
go.
really did. I thought about going back and competing in line again, and I almost did. I'll be honest. I was really kind of, for a minute there, I thought I was going to be going to World Dance
You
Masters
talked
this
about
year,
this.
right? We were talking about that, and I said, I think I'm going to World Dance Masters this year. And with um, what her name just left me. But now that we have the event in Florida,
Right.
or what was going to be the event in Florida for Rachel, I was like, all right, I'll go there. And then if I'm going to go all the way out there, I might as well compete. It'll be fun. And I had talked to a couple of people. Like, I had talked to Roy and Fiona. I was like, so I think I'm going to compete in World Dance Masters. Help me. But thing kind of happened and it didn't work out that way. But I considered. I'm sure I saw Nicola like chime in. I'm sure Nicola would have loved to have seen me back and compete in line, especially there.
Yeah, that would have been fun times to bring you over to England. That'd been a blast to have.
Yeah,
That would have been
yeah,
blast. That would have been a blast.
would have been fun.
That place, Blackpool, Winter Gardens. That place is epic. That place is
I
aptly
I
epic.
know. I want to go. I have yet to go, and I keep saying that I'm going to go, and I keep telling Nicola, "Look, I'll be there. I swear, I'm going to go.
Like the
I just
only
don't know
way,
when."
the only way I can even like compare the energy was, and you of all people to remember this, um, back in early 2000s when Brian Barakowskis came back and did one of his last year's Heap Dance Superstars to a packed stadium seating in Opryland, and he did the handstand to roll into his hat to roll. And to watch Brian, who's not known for usually being the aerial guy with tricks, to walk into a handstand, pop down his hat, and roll, that place went absolutely berserk. And that's about the only energy level I can compare it to.
That's what I hear. I hear that all the time. That it's just, and I think, the only thing that we have that compares that is, Worlds is definitely like that. And I can tell you, a Saturday night dancing, that Saturday night show in Masters, you get that energy.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing like that.
You
Uh,
know what I miss watching, and I think it was forget who I was talking to last week, but the team challenges, the USA
oh
versus the
yeah,
World team challenges, those were awesome. Some of those
those were
matchups,
fun.
some of those matchups to watch, putting random people against each other, just were hysterically fun to watch.
Yeah,
Was
yeah, there was a lot of really good ones.
Yeah, there was. It was just absolutely like people you would never see normally would team up. Like it would put line dancers against line dancers and couples dancers and couples dancers, but you'd have couples on the floor that usually don't compete against each other because one's in showcase and one's in classic, but they're both
Hmm.
dancing a two-step against each other, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
And now, unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, it's time, right?
Oh,
We're so
I can
strapped on
imagine.
time at Worlds. I mean, these sessions take hours just because of the amount of competitors, which is an amazing thing that we've grown to that point. But like I said, unfortunately, things like that, some things end up getting cut
Right.
out, and that's one of those things that ends up getting cut because
Of
we
course,
need
you
to
need
get
more
allow
time.
that
There's
comp
so
in.
many
Yeah.
divisions now, and yeah. Nicola said she would love to have you, and she said she'd have lots of work for you to do.
I bet you would.
You might have just got roped into that, Tim. Nice job.
Done. Done. Nicola, we'll chat after.
The sad thing is, it's no, it's actually, I think it's the same weekend. No,
It normally falls either the weekend before
Arizona
Arizona
or the
Dance
week up.
Classic or the
Yeah,
weekend after.
yeah, it's right
Um,
around there. It's right around
this
that
year it
same
was,
time.
yeah, this year it was going to be the weekend before Arizona.
Yes.
And so when I started early on looking at my calendar and making it out for 2020, I was like, ooh, if I end up going, I'm going to have to go over there, fly back, because I don't want to fly over there and not spend time and have some
Oh,
fun.
I know.
And right? And so I would have to have flown back and basically had a day at home to hop on a plane to fly to Arizona. Like I had already pre-warned Mona and said, look, I'm going to get there, but I may not be there until Thursday night because I'm going to be like
Just
flying back from England.
fly
So
straight
yeah.
to Arizona.
Well, no, I gotta freshen up. I gotta get a new change of clothes. I can't wear the same outfits at the same event back. Steven will tell you, like if I have events that are back to back to back to back, I will make sure that no outfit that I'm wearing to judge is repeated.
So this is what you do. You pack a suitcase, pre-ship it to Mona ahead of time.
Oh, it was already planned. I was going to pack something, already have it, maybe send Steven down early, whatever I needed to do. Oh yeah.
That's awesome. That's absolutely hysterical. So you've been going to more social events now. What social events that you haven't got to go to yet would you like to come to?
I'd like to make it out to a little bit more on the East Coast. I've heard a lot of thing about Fitz, right? Fun in the Sun. I've heard nothing but amazing things. I want to go make my way up to Chicago,
Windy
to
City,
Windy
good event.
City. Oh my gosh, I've heard nothing but amazing things, and that, and there's so many great friends of mine that are going to be at all these events, and mostly I want to go just to hang out with my friends. I mean, that's the biggest reason there is to go. I mean, not only the fun of the event, but the fun of going and I don't have to work. Well, I mean, even if I do get to work and I have to teach a class or whatever, right? I don't have to judge. I don't have
Right.
to. I can just go and
You don't have to pack 17 different outfits. Well, you
oh
still
my
might
gosh,
pack
that's the
17
worst.
outfits.
That's the worst. You layer, right? Shirt and tie and jacket and undershirt and pants and you know, so much.
Yeah, you would enjoy Fitz. It's at the same hotel that Orange Blossom used to be at. The one Grant started out with, the Airport Marriott there in Orlando, with the nice pool.
Oh, okay.
That's where Fitz is. And Jen just says, "Come to Fitz 2021."
Done.
Jen's there. Yep. That's and we have. She has the event in December now there too. The Florida Lineage Classics at the same hotel, so we get that amazing pool twice a year. It's great
Oh, okay.
because they don't close it down.
Well, it's Florida. You can't really do that, right?
You'd be surprised. Disney does shut their water parks down for
Well,
part of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
It
yeah.
we have been known to get a couple days of cold weather.
Lots like Vegas or like Arizona. I
Yeah,
mean, our the water it gets cold here, but I mean the pools and stuff will stay open till at least sometimes October, November.
I remember when I worked for Dance Connection and I drove to Vegas the one year, and I got to Vegas when I head out there for Grant. It was probably 50 degrees when I got to Vegas. I was like, "What is
Sometimes,
this?"
yeah, it can
First
be.
week of December, I'm like, "What are we doing here?" Luckily, I didn't
Yes.
have to leave the hotel. It was great. and
And then I was gonna say I'd like to hit a couple of events outside of the country. I'd like to hit some of the other ones, and I mean, I'd like to go to a few of the other, World Dance Masters events that I mean, even though it's a competition and they have a really good social, environment, and it'd be nice just to kind of go outside of the U.S. and see some of the stuff that goes on over there.
Awesome. Maddie did just remind me, Windy City is actually at the same hotel Chicagoland's at.
Yes, that I did know.
So, do you imagine a ballroom twice as packed though?
Oh, I like that. I see Kelly. Come for Christmas at Disney and Florida Classic. Is that what it normally is?
The Florida Classic's the first week of December, so Disney has already turned into Christmas. Yep, all the Christmas stuff is up at Disney.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, don't tell him that because then he's gonna need to bring an extra suitcase just to fly Mickey stuff back.
Disney, December is such a busy month. It's so busy.
I can imagine.
With this year, usually like the Vegas Dance Explosion happens, and then so normally I have Vegas Dance Explosion the first weekend of December, Christmas in Dixie the second weekend in December, and I saw that Mary Hannah was on here, so there's no way I'm not going to Christmas in Dixie. Mary Hannah would kill me.
Yeah.
And especially since I was telling her like last year I bought this amazing, or I think it was no earlier this year I bought this amazing Christmas suit to wear. I was like, I got the perfect suit to wear, Mary. I'm set. I normally have like this year, like this past December, both events back to back. I had a weekend off, and then the following weekend I flew out to Worlds.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
So
before that, you have Las Vegas Dance Explosion.
And then
because it's back in November this year.
It's back in November this year, and it was nice to have it in September because it didn't really interfere too much in December or November, December when it was busy. But at the same time, like, wow,
Steven says no more Disney stuff. There's no room. And Jen says she knows a great Disney travel agent because Jen is actually now a certified Disney travel agent.
Ooh.
So there you go. There's your in.
All right. We're definitely talking then.
There you go. So yeah, you got a little busy time there, but you can squeeze down to Florida. It'd be fine.
Oh my gosh, I would love to. We need a trip. Steven, you're listening, and you're watching, so we're planning a vacation. We're just going to take all of December.
Steven, tell him he can be a good boy, and y'all can swing through Atlanta on the way back and go to Coke. Actually, there's a whole Coca-Cola place at downtown Disney.
Yeah.
The whole Coca-Cola 2-story place, 3-story, like with a bar on the roof, at downtown Disney. Or Disney Springs now it's called.
Yeah, we haven't been there in a while. The last time we were at Disney World was, I think, the last time UC World was there.
You should see that hotel now. You should see the what they upgraded it to. The
can't wait to go back.
Turned out amazing. We actually went the week after Fort Wayne. Me and Kelly went. We went and got our Disney passes again, and we went and spent the weekend. And we rode the gondolas. Past it, Coronado looks amazing. Yeah, it was nice. It was fun. We went to the new Galaxy's Edge to Star Wars Land.
I need to make it. I was so looking forward to be in Orlando. I had planned our meetings for the UCWDC. Our fall meeting last year was in Orlando, and then the hurricane or whatever the thing that came through. So we ended up canceling the meeting, and I didn't go. And then I ended up talking to who did I talk to? They ended up still going. And I was like, really? Bernie and Sloan and Bernie. Like I saw them at the next event I was at, and they went, "Oh, we still went to Disney. We rode everything." I was like, "I hate you, Sloan. I really do." He's like, "You should." And I even was joking with them. I was like, "Well, I got a flight back. Like my flight comes back from Orlando." He's like, "You should have went." And I was like, "Man." He's like, "We walked on every ride." I was like, "I hate you guys both."
Maddie B just had a great question. What's harder, training to compete or judging your own students?
Training.
Ooh, there you go, Maddie. So he can easily just tell you what you're doing wrong.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry. Maybe I missed that. Is it training my own students or judging my own students? Training. Definitely training. I still saying training because judging, I can take myself out of the fact that I've coached you, right? I can take myself out of the fact that I can do that. And it's easy for me because I travel as much and I hit so many different events throughout the year, especially in the US. And I saw that Ann Cunningham was like, "Come to Shamrock."
Yeah.
That definitely, let's talk about that. I see, like at Worlds this past year, there was very few people that I had not judged this year. You see me in Indy, you see me
That's
in
true.
Atlanta, you see me. I make it from coast to coast, so I'm able to see everybody. So I may have saw you this weekend, and then I'll see you again next weekend. I don't judge you based on what I saw. So my students are the same way. I may have coached you, and I know what you can do, and if I see you do something, I'm still going to score it appropriately and go from there. Training is a little harder because you're watching them and you're doing it and you want them to do certain things. So you
Right.
see everything that's being done and how to fix it. And okay, let's do this, let's do that. But judging it, it's easy because and realistically, I'm not just watching you. I'm watching you and everybody else.
Uh, what did you find harder, competing in couples or competing in line?
Competing in line. Definitely competing in line. Definitely, it's a different skill set. Uh, I had the luxury that when I first started dancing, um, my very first line, like I said, I learned those other line dances, right? Talked
Mm-hmm.
about Achy Breaky Heart, Boot Scootin' Boogie, Watermelon
If you,
Crawl.
I meant to say this earlier. If you come to an event Joey Warren is at, you're still going to do the watermelon crawl. It's still played at every event Joey Warren attends.
I
So
think I still do it every night at the nightclub I teach here in
I'm pretty
Vegas.
sure
So
Gillies does still do it.
yes. Well, and when I was on, I used to be on this juniors dance team. Um, and the junior dance team was called Young Country. And the first time that I joined it, and I'll give you a little backstory on that. When I first started dancing, I was just doing it for fun. After the wedding, my parents and I kept going. My dad would sit there at the bar and watch sports and say, "Go dance with your mother," and that's what I would do. I would go and I would go dance with my mom and learn the lessons. And the instructors there said, "Hey, you picked this stuff up pretty quickly. Our daughter needs a dance partner as a part of this country western junior dance team. Why don't you come back and join it or check it out?" So I was like, all right, cool. Why not? Had no interest in doing this. I used to play baseball. I played basketball. I did all kinds of sports as a kid, right, growing up. And so dancing was not on my radar at all. And so I went to the practice session. I met this lady's daughter. And mind you, I was like 12, 13 years old. So, and the girl was about 14, 15. And she's a foot and a half taller than me, right? Everybody's a foot and a half taller than me. So, um, and it didn't work out. But I still stayed on the team. And in about a month or two after I had joined the team, they were supposed to perform at the Arizona State Fair. And we're like, all right, cool. I'll stay on it. I'll do it. And I remember the very first line dance that I learned with the team was cowboy hip hop. I don't know, remember that one. It was a Richard Timko had choreographed it.
Wow.
Yeah, cowboy. It had like the Running Man and the Roger Rabbit, and all the movements that were big back in 1992, right? And that was the first line dance that I learned back then to do in the show or the performance or whatever. And that's when I got teamed up with my dance partner Melanie, who we ended up dancing for years, all the way until I was 18 years old, and for about 5 years together we competed. But yeah, yeah.
Awesome. What do you find harder to judge, line dancer couples?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think they're both about the same. Again, because of the skill sets, right? It's a little bit different. You can hide things when you're in couples. I think is the best way to show it, right? You can, if you've got two people, I'm watching two people, and I can't. You're watching both of them at the same time, but if one outshines the other, the one that outshines the other can almost in a way mask that person's flaws because they're just that much better that you don't see it. In line dance, as though you see that flaw because there's nobody else to hide it.
Right.
So, like I said, it's a little bit different in how you judge it, and and that's why I said, competing wise, I think it was harder to dance line than it was couples because there was no hiding anything. If you scour YouTube, you might find some videos of me actually when I competed in line, but there was less to hide. You can't hide arm lines. You can't hide bad feet. You can't hide if you mess something up.
I'm just glad the judges today have to learn the dances.
Absolutely.
I am so for
Absolutely.
that. I told you my Big Apple story, right?
Yeah, yeah.
About this was back 7 8 years, almost probably 10 years ago now. We called. They said it hit the 2 week window where you could either use the old or the new one. They said no, we're still using the old one. Well, I wasn't going to learn the old one for 2 weeks, but we literally it was supposed to be Can't Handle Me. It was the advanced funky. Guyton said Can't Handle Me, and me and another person who I was competing at the time with. We were competing cup line. We learned a different Guyton dance, and the only person that caught it afterward was Dave. None of the judges knew. They just knew we were doing a funky dance to the song.
Yeah.
I'm like,
And yeah,
that's just like,
it's
like,
great now that it's a
yes,
lot of work for us as a judge, but a lot of us that are judging though, most of us, I would think that judge line, a lot of us also are coaching people in line. So
yes,
we're learning the dances anyways, right? And
right,
we're learning all the stuff and we're doing the dances and it's fun because especially when you're coaching them, where there's a problem in the dance. I know why you're doing this. I did that too when I learned it.
right.
And to be honest, some of the dances are fun to do. I'm like, ooh, that looks fun. Every time I kind of see, in fact, the new street that for intermediate street, Shane and Roy did that. No, it wasn't Shane and Roy. It was
What's
I
the
don't remember who
dance?
did it. I don't. They did it just for the UC competition, their
Oh,
street, but it was amazing, right? Like it was just, it's cool. I'm like, wow, I haven't learned it yet, but because I'm really not a hip hop street dancer, but when I was trying to learn it, Steven was making fun of me and wanted to video it. He's like, I said, you are not videotaping this. Says, you want to video it so you can send it to Roy, don't you? He's like, yes. I was like, no. So no.
that's awesome. Um, Andrew asked, "What advice can you give to a newcomer competing in line dancing?"
What advice? You know what? Keep going at it. It's going to get easier. Also, social line helps, and learning other dance styles helps.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely. Now that they're
really,
adding the more dance styles into it.
right, like pay attention to what a lot of the newcomer dances are exactly that. I think, and especially in the UC, like in newcomer dance, some people try to do so much, and it's like, look, you're doing amazing, which is great, but you're not doing the dance on time, right? Let's stick to what's important, and that's your timing, and then everything else will come with it. As you get more comfortable with it, it becomes easier. You'll start to feel it. You'll start to come into your own. And I think that's where you get a lot of social dancers that excel, social line dancers especially, right? That come into competition and excel at it because they're so used to putting their own flair
Right.
into it, right? Especially when you go to an event and you're dancing with uh, John Robinson or you're dancing with whomever on the dance floor with you, and you're just like, that's cool. Like, I want to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, and like you said, even going back to the social events, why, I like going to them because I get to do that. I get to have fun and just dance to the music, dance what I feel.
Yeah. I always had it trouble. Like I didn't like it when I did newcomer because you couldn't change anything.
Right. But I
Dan
don't want to see that
Nella,
yet. Yeah. I want to see you just dance. Oh, I saw Maddie's thing, right? It's Shane and Roy.
and
See,
it's the
I was,
monster. I'm gonna go look at that dance.
yeah, go look at it. It's pretty sick. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool.
Well,
It's very much them.
it came from probably two of the best hip hop dancers in our industry right now,
Yeah.
possibly ever. Like you have Roy Hazabrodo, who I believe won Superstars the first year he was in it at age 18, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, and he's insane, absolutely
Yeah.
insane.
Guy's amazing. Right now, he and I have been texting quite a bit and talking because, as you know, those of you that don't know, Roy is a huge Marvel fan, right? And
Dream.
so, yeah, extremely huge Marvel fan. And so right now, since there's not a whole lot to do, and I'm not a big Marvel comic person, so I didn't watch any of the Marvel, what is it, MCU or whatever,
Yep.
anything from the Marvel comic universe. And so like I'm going back now and watching them in order. So I've been texting Roy, and every time I kind of finish the movie, I tell him like, all right, so I just finished this. He's like, okay, what'd you think? So he and I have been having tons of talking and dialogue about all the movies. I'm almost
What point
done.
are you at? What point are you at yet?
I just finished Spider-Man Homecoming. So the next movie on my list is Thor Ragnarok. something like that. Is that correct?
Oh, did you look up the list and you're watching them in like actual numeric? Oh,
I'm watching them in no, I'm watching them in theatrical release order. So the order that they release in theater. Oh, I have a spreadsheet and everything. I have a whole spreadsheet. I almost did the other order, the timeline order, but then when you factor in like you have to throw in The Shield and Agent Carter and all these other movies, I was like, look, I just want to watch the movies. I'm not going to do all that. Maybe I'll go back and watch them. They've been great though. Oh my gosh, they've been amazing.
oh, I know they are amazing. As I got my Batman stuff straight behind me, and my Riddler and my Arrow, all my DC and stuff like that behind me right now. So I know what you're going through.
Oh, it's been great. It's been great. And see, the only thing I'm really watching is just Disney stuff normally. So this now that it's part of the Disney franchise, and now that it is, so it's kind of has
Hey,
to.
Disney Plus, gotta
Disney
love it.
Plus.
Gotta love it. You get
Yes,
everything. So,
absolutely.
but thank you so much for coming on today, bro. It has been a blast getting to catch up and talk to you about all stuff, competition wise, social wise, and Disney wise. So I'll have to get you on for another roundtable here soon.
Absolutely. Oh, good. I don't have to answer any of your questions.
Oh no 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 no! Nice
Oh,
try. I had him. See, I set him up, Steven. I got him good. I got him good. He thought I was going to avoid the question, and nope. I was
uh,
so getting him ready because I know he was expected coming, and then he just ratted himself out.
no,
I even
no, I
answered this
didn't.
today. So on my Streamline Teach, JP Maj asked me. He goes, "Okay, so now that we have you on camera, you
Haha.
answer your own question." So I did. I answered the question. I gave two locations, either Aspen, Colorado, or Australia. And then my
Okay.
five instructors were Guyton Mundy, Brian Barakauskas, Rob Glover, Will Craig, and Joanne Brady.
Awesome
So for
people.
those who missed it, those were my answers. Guyton, of course, that was a hands down one. He's been my mentor, my idol. Brian, everyone knows my relationship with Brian. He's one of my best
Right.
friends. Rob Glover, my Liverpool brother, he is just phenomenal. How can you not have an event without him? Um, Will Craig, what can I say? He's been there for me. He would drop everything at the drop of a dime to be there for me if I need anything. And then Joanne Brady, I took a lesson from her at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday at Motor City, and no no one should have that much energy after dancing till 3 o'clock in the morning the night before at her age, especially on a
She's amazing.
Sunday. I like hands down probably the best teach I've ever seen in my life.
I love Joanne.
And
She's amazing. Amazing.
absolutely amazing. So, if money was no object, Mr. Perez, where would you hold an event? First five instructors you're bringing.
Where would I hold an event in first five
And
instructors?
you've been around for a while, so you can go old school.
Oh my gosh. If I can hold an event anywhere, and it's already been there before, but I would go back to Disney. I would definitely have it, but I would have it at, I think I would have it at Disneyland, not Disney World. I'd go
Come
back old
on.
school and I would, look, I'm a West Coast, I'm a
I've
California
actually never been. I
boy.
want to come out. I want to go to California Adventure. I want to go to Disneyland.
Let's go. Come on out next year.
Let's do it.
We'll come. That's so Roy and Fiona, I was trying to get them to come out to South Bay, right? They're like, well, we have to go to Disney. So somehow I have to work it out. But so if they come out to South Bay, I need to get them the trip to Disney. So maybe we can all come out. We'll just do one big trip, all of us. You and Kelly come out. Steve and I,
If I
Roy,
didn't work
Fiona,
an
the
event the
six
weekend
of
of
us.
South Bay, I heard you have a really awesome logo.
Oh my gosh. So I was trying to get the background to show up on this thing because I was going to put it,
Yeah.
but what I couldn't do on Skype is figure out why every time I inputted it, it would invert it.
Inverts it. I know.
So I almost sent it to Cal and said, "Hey Kelly, can you flip this so I can
Flip
put
it.
it up behind me so that it can come up?" Because yeah, that's really what I wanted to do. Um, so, anyways, I would definitely have it back at Disneyland. Got to go back to Disney because money is no object. So I can rent out the entire hotel and we can have nothing but dancers there, and Mickey and Minnie can dance with us, and it would be great. Um, in dance instructors that I would bring, um, wow, that's tough. That is really hard. I think I would bring in, ooh, money, no object. I would bring in one of them would be Robert Royston.
Oh yeah.
Robert Royston, because Robert has been definitely a big mentor of mine. I got a lot of opportunities back in the day because of Robert. I learned a lot from that man and so much, and he and I are still friends, and it's always great to see him. And I think that a lot of people across the board, right, in country and in swing and even in line, like he's done some stuff, and just everything he's done is just a wealth of knowledge. So Robert Royston would be one person. Who else? Joe Thompson Szymanski would be one. For the same reason, Joe and I have been amazing friends for a number of years. She is just, I owe her so much, and the different things that I've had the opportunity to do. Las Vegas dance finale, Las Vegas dance explosion. My first reason I was able to get on staff there was because of Joe, and introducing me and saying who I was and different things, and I've had a lot of opportunities with her. So definitely Joe Thompson would be another one. Who else? Roy and Fiona, they count as one because they're one. You can't have one without the other because they just work together. They have just been over the years, especially the last couple of years, we have grown and just become great friends. I mean, you guys saw us. I think every time you see me with them and whatever. I mean, even at Fort Wayne, right? They're just so much fun. Yeah. So that's three.
That is.
Who else? Oh my gosh, the other two are hard. The other two are definitely difficult. I don't know who the other two would be. If money was no object, I still don't know who the other two would be. I don't know. I'm not going to answer the other two. I'm going to save the other two because they're surprise.
They're surprise. Nice.
They're surprises. They're surprises. One other. No, I don't know. I'm not going to answer it because I don't know. Those three are the main ones right now. I definitely would say.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then, you and Kelly would have to be there because money's no object. So, there's, even if you had another event anywhere,
pay it off.
It really wouldn't matter because
Yep.
I'm gonna just pay you triple what it is. Right. The hard part about that is there's so many great instructors, right?
Yes.
And there's so many, and with me, there's so many great instructors. Just even when you start looking at line and at country and at swing and just there is just too many. Actually, another one talking about swing, Mario Rabal.
Oh yeah.
Mario, as a swing person, he was one of those people that I learned a lot of information from back in the day when I was learning swing and learning some stuff. And he and I had some good times just sitting around chatting about stuff. I'll have to tell you about a story, a Mario story. It's not really appropriate.
Yeah, we can't tell. Probably
I'll tell
most Mario stories we can't tell on the air.
Yeah. But I'll tell you offline. Everybody's like, "Well, we want to hear it." No, you can't. It's not appropriate.
Yeah.
So he would be one, and the fifth one, I don't know. I don't know who the fifth one would be quite yet.
Nice.
Yeah, but Disneyland.
Disneyland. We're going to Cali.
Right, and not even. And you notice I didn't even say like the Disneyland hotel. We're staying at the hotel, but the event is in Disneyland. Screw that. We're buying out Disneyland just for us.
Works for me, baby. Well, thank you for coming on, man. It was a blast getting to chat with you. It's been a fun hour. Hope you guys at home enjoyed it. So I know I had a blast talking to my buddy here. Tomorrow, I got Jonas Dahlgren on all the way from Sweden. He's going to be talking about how he got into dancing and about his event coming up this weekend. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday online. It's normally supposed to be in Sweden. It's you and me. That I have now been he's added me on, and I've been asked to teach there this weekend online. So we're going to have Jonas on talking about his event. So hope everyone has fun. So till tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, guys. See ya.